Hi. So I'm just going over again how you would do a presentation for someone. And so this is like if you were to sit down for coffee, or even you could do this over the phone, although, with some of the graphs that I'm going to go over, it's kind of hard to do over the phone unless you're to do FaceTime like this, and then you can kind of draw it out for people. But if you can get them just to sit down with you, then that would be ideal because graphics are great. But if you can't, use those webinars because those webinars are awesome, and it's all with people that are already being successful in Allistia. So it's generally with the field leaders. So the first thing, again, that you want to talk about is why this company came about. Okay, why did Apollo create this? And why, yeah, why was this created? And you definitely want to touch on the fact that this was not to make money. Okay, this was about people, about them wanting to help people. Okay, the second thing that you want to talk about is the product and why it's great and what it does, and you can even show them the label. There's a little graph, I'll send you the image of the brain and all the different pieces that the mastermind helps with, and that's a great tool to use. So you want to talk about the product and why it's awesome. Okay, I generally just talk about the mastermind because that's my favorite product, but it's good to talk about all of them that we have. And then you want to talk about the industry, okay, and why this is so kick-ass. So this is, can I turn my camera around? So this is what we call the S-curves of economics. So I draw out this little graph, okay. So this is trends, and this is time. Okay, so we have an X, Y graph. So I like to use some other examples that people are familiar with. Okay, so let's say that we're talking about home computers. Okay, now in 1990, how many people had home computers? Okay, now the answer is like none, right? So we're at 0. Okay, now by the year 2000, how many people had home computers? Well, that many, right? Everyone did. So the graph, it was an up curve like that. Now let's talk about like cell phones. Okay, in 95, how many people had cell phones? Well, none. Now in 05, how many people had cell phones? Well, all of them, right? Or if we're talking about smartphones, in 2005, how many people had smartphones? No one. In 2015, how many people had smartphones? All of them, right? Now this is called the S-curves of economics, and in every industry, this is what happens. You start at 0, there's a huge up curve, and then eventually they kind of trail off, okay? So it's an S. Now, if you look at nootropics, okay, now we're in 2016, but let's say we're in 15. If you ask 100 people what nootropics are, we're at 0, right? None. No one. So where can it go from here? All it can do is go up, right? That's it. The only option is to go up. So if you had the ability to join an industry that was at 0, would you want to do that? Or would you want to join up here? I mean, that would be kind of goofy to join up here, right? And so I presented this to someone today, and they said, well, yeah, but these are all tech companies. That's different. It's different when it's nutritional products. Yeah, I mean, but it's the same. Like if you were to, let's say, go back to 1980, right? How many people had protein powder in their home back in 1980? Well, none, right? But now everyone has protein powder. Your grandma probably has protein powder sitting in her cabinet, right? It was a huge upward growth trend, and that's what happened with protein powder. Now, nootropics, every health publication in the last year has talked about nootropics as being the next big thing in health and wellness. The next big thing in health and wellness. Now, the health and wellness industry is a $1 trillion industry currently, but nootropics is like at less than 1%. So it's going to be the next big thing. It's huge, right? So again, we're here. We're gonna be here. Where do you want to join in at? If you want to join in. If you don't join in, well, then you're just obviously missing the boat, right? So then I like to show, this is what Willie calls the marketing plan. Okay. Now, if you can relate this to companies that people already know, then it gives them an understanding of what's going on. So we like to start with Amazon. So here, this is Amazon. Okay. Now, a consumer, over here's the consumer. A consumer goes to Amazon, right? And they place an order through Amazon. Now, Amazon's actually just the intermediary. Over here, there's all these affiliates. Okay, these are like a CD store or a bookstore or, you know, a whatever, furniture, right? These are different stores. The stores contract with Amazon. Now, when the consumer goes to Amazon, they place an order through Amazon. These stores ship the product to the consumer. And then they send Amazon a paycheck, right? Now, Amazon doesn't touch the product. They don't ship the product. They're just the intermediary, okay? And this is the same thing with, like, let's say Pandora, right? A consumer has a subscription to Pandora. There's advertisers that pay Pandora. You know, it's the same thing. Or Facebook, right? Facebook has all these advertisers. The consumer uses Facebook. Facebook is just the medium, the intermediary. Okay, now in our company, it's the same thing. So each of our affiliates has their own website. Okay, and then we get to choose our own website name. Mine is inspire.elysian.com. Now, when you're talking to someone, they're, let's say the consumer. We're just going to call them a consumer. Okay, now they go to your website. Now, you don't touch the product. You don't collect their money. You don't ship them the product. All you did was say, go to my website, place an order. That's it. Now, Elysian over here, Elysian is going to ship the consumer the product, and they're going to send you a paycheck. Okay, so this is exactly like what's happening in Amazon, but through Elysian. We are the intermediary, just like Amazon was the intermediary. Now, Amazon actually took 10 years to make a profit. Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, you know, he mortgaged everything to make Amazon what it is today. And it started with just books and CDs, and now it's the largest shopping site in the world, right? Well, that's what we're expecting this to be too. It's going to be massive, okay? But people are already making 6 figures here. They're not going to have to wait 10 years to do it. So the cool thing about this that is different than Amazon is that we actually have the ability to make more money. Because if this consumer decides that they also want to be an affiliate, and you take them through the pre-screening and you make sure that they're awesome, then they get to have their own website. And so now they're no longer a consumer, they're also an affiliate. And so when they have another consumer, that consumer goes to their website, Elysian ships, I'm losing my paper, Elysian ships them the product, they ship this person a paycheck, but hey, awesome, they ship you another paycheck. Now, why are they doing that? Because you taught this person how to be successful. This is a team effort. Okay, now if you don't teach this person well, then you're not going to make any money. It's a team effort. So unlike a regular job where you go to your office and you work for 8 hours and you get paid for those 8 hours and you go home and you stop making money, with this, the whole idea is that we're building a team of people that are working together. And the more successful that we make each other, the more money we all make together. And so that's why this industry of network marketing is so lucrative, is that it's not just about your efforts, it's about your whole team's efforts. And if you teach them how to be extremely successful, then you are also going to be extremely successful. So it gives you incentive to help out other people. And so that's something that you really want to share with people. You want to show them this whole thing and why this is different and why network marketing is the way, and it is the business of the 21st century. Okay, even according to Robert Kiyosaki, and he's the author of Rich Dad Poor Dad. He's the most highly renowned financial guru in the world. He talks about how network marketing is the business of the 21st century. In fact, he wrote the book called The Business of the 21st Century. So, again, we started with the why of the company, why it was created. We talked about the product. We talked about the S-curves of economics and where nootropics are. We talked about the marketing plan, okay? And then next, you want to ask them about their goals. So, ask them if time and money were no object, if you had complete control over time and money, what would you want to do with that? And so people will tell you things like, well, I want to travel. And you want to write this all down, just like this. I want to have a nice house. I want to give back. Maybe I want to start a charity. I want to retire my parents. All these things. You want them to dream big. And if they're not dreaming big, if they're like, well, I want to pay my electrical bill, then you need to ask them to dream bigger. Okay, we want them to expand their vision. Okay, so these are all of their wants. Okay, now then ask them, in your current line of work, do you have the ability to do all these things? And almost all of the time they will say no. And so then you say, okay, now what's keeping you from these? And they'll say, well, money. Okay, so then you write this down. Money. Okay, money is keeping you from achieving your goals. Okay, now you have a couple options. You can either learn to make a lot more money by leveraging a system, or you can start crossing out your goals and do this. Do this right in front of them. And then when they see this, well, no one wants their goals to be crossed out, right? You've just dashed their dreams, which means that whatever you have, they're going to start listening to. Okay, so again, you can either make more money or you can start crossing out your dreams. And that sometimes just that is a wake-up call for people, okay? And then you explain when we want to bring people aboard, and you may or may not be a good candidate, we take them through the pre-screening process, okay? Now, so I have a couple questions for you on an answer just to make sure that you're the right fit because, again, we're working with very successful people and we need to make sure that they're the right fit. So the first question is, on a scale of 1 to 10, how ambitious are you? And so let's just say, for instance, that they say that they're a 7 on ambition. And the reason why people say that is because they're giving themselves an out, okay? Just in case that they end up not being ambitious, then they would have told you, oh, well, I was only a 7 anyway, right? So they're making an excuse right there. But let's just say that it was a 7. Okay. The second question is, how accountable are you? How often do you follow through with what you say you're going to do? How often do you respond to a text message in a timely manner? How often do you actually show up when you say you're going to show up? And hopefully they'll say that they're a 10, a 9 or a 10. Now again, if they say that they're a 3, you might as well just stop what you're doing right there and just say thank you for your time, that you're not the right fit. Okay, the third question is, how valuable to you is the idea of financial independence? The idea of having complete freedom over time and money. Now, almost always people will say, well, that's the ultimate goal, right? Because this was their goals. Financial independence, everyone wants that, okay? The next question is, do you think that it's more important who you know or what you know? Okay, now you want them to say who you know because that's the whole idea of this company. Now, if they say that, well, it's what you know, well, then ask them this, okay? With all of the knowledge that you have currently gained through your life, through your schooling, how close are you to being able to do this? And again, they will say, well, I don't, right? So you have a lot of knowledge, but you have yet to achieve your goals. So if I could set you up with someone that wanted to help you with that, would you find that valuable? Okay, so the question was, who or what you know. Okay, and you want them to say it's who you know because what they already know, it's not helping them. Okay, they might be very knowledgeable, they might have a college degree, they might be book smart, but they are not yet successful. Now, if you could hook them up with some successful people, would that be valuable? And now they better say yes to that. Okay, if they say no, I don't want to hang out with multimillionaires, then obviously they're not the right fit. If they say yes, I'd be entirely valuable, then that's great, and then that's a good time to get them on the phone with someone who is successful. Okay, but let's take a look back. So let's take a look back at this. They said that they were a 7 on ambition, but they were a 10 on financial independence. And so that's when you have to actually call them out on it. You say, okay, I see that you want to be financially independent to a 10. You want all these goals, but you're only ambitious enough to a 7. So how likely do you think it's going to be that you're going to be able to get this if you're not that ambitious? And then they're going to likely change their answer. Okay, you know, if I have all of these opportunities, then yes, I will be a 10. Okay, great. Then that's what we're looking for. We're looking for people that will work their ass off. Okay, and now by working their ass off, we mean like 10 hours a week. You know, get on a webinar, talk to some people, send out some text messages, use your Facebook. It's very simple. It really doesn't take a lot of time, but you just need to keep doing it. And again, that's why people will say that network marketing doesn't work, is because like they knew, you know, their uncle's cousin was in some crazy company and it didn't work for him. Well, yeah, why? Because he quit and he didn't have mentors to teach him. Okay, we do. So that's what you want to show people. And then when they say, yes, this would be valuable, then that's right then, get them on a 3-way call. Okay, call me, call Anthony, call Genio, anyone else. And then that way we can take over and we can explain everything that they need to have answered. They can give that third-party validation, and that's really going to make the difference, that third party. Because again, someone might not see you as a super successful business owner running a multi-million-dollar company, even though you are actually doing that. You are the CEO of your own company now. But they don't see you as that, and so that's when you want to get them on the phone right away. As soon as you're done with that phone call, give them the homework, have them watch the audiobook of the Business of the 21st Century. I'll send you that link. It's a YouTube audiobook link, and then set up your next appointment. Okay? So all those things. Again, we had the why of the company, why it was created, what the products are, the industry trends, the marketing plan, asking about their goals, doing the pre-screening, getting them on a 3-way call. That's the process to your second exposure. Hopefully that was helpful, and I will talk to you soon.